Hello, all you beautiful people out there. What is going on? This is your friend Birdie coming at you fast with another Paragon in-depth hero guide. And today we're going to be looking at Sparrow, the sexy sniper of sovereignty, succubus, salute, salvation army. Yeah, there we go. But before we get into the video on how to actually play Sparrow, how to slaughter, how to build her, how to play her correctly, how to use her abilities most effectively in fights and such, I need to cover something before we actually get into the meat of the video. We got to go through our veggies first. So, I've had a couple comments in my video saying, oh, the people you're playing are awful. Oh, you should have been dead this many more times. Oh, stuff like that. And I understand that that's actually a factor in competitive games such as MOBAs, that you do go against people of different skill levels, which is why I actually try to pick out games where the skill level is as equal as possible. I have played so many Sparrow games before this one that you're seeing right here, and I've tried to go through them and just pick out, the ones that weren't absolute curb stompers, but most of the times when I get solo queued, I get solo queued with people that are around my elo level, which is gold. Sometimes they're silver, sometimes they're even bronze. But I actually am used to playing with diamond players on my team, so that's why it might seem that I'm much better than the people that are actually in the same elo category as me. But there are times that there are a couple bronzes on the other team that slip through and make stupid mistakes and allow me to feed off of them. I cannot control that, guys. I do try and weed out the gameplays that will give you the most accurate representation of what a typical game with a hero might look like, but I can't give you the most perfect competitive game every single time. As you guys can see here, this is such an interesting start. We end up killing their Sparrow right off the beginning during the stream. As you guys can see in the top right, I did get this during my live stream, and this was a pretty crazy fight. And this was pretty much the best game that I could get in the amount of time that I had, so I didn't have enough time to weed out as many games as possible, so there you guys have it. Side note, the Sparrow on the other team was actually a Platinum Sparrow. Her elo was Platinum. Everybody else was Silver, I do believe so. And everybody on my team was Silver. So it's pretty much me versus that Sparrow, if you guys want to think about it this way. But in all honesty, it shouldn't really matter what teams I play against or how do I actually play versus those teams, because I'm telling you guys how to play the hero correctly. Whether or not whatever team you go up against is good doesn't depend on you playing your hero correctly, and that is the point of these videos. So without drawn out freaking intro out of the way, let's get on with the video. So when playing Sparrow, you want to make sure that you're all about that positioning, because Sparrow does not have any getaways, she does not have any stuns, so you have to make sure that you always keep your distance on your enemies. Having this said, you want to make sure that you're always either in the left lane or the right lane so you can get ganked as little as possible, because Sparrow is one of the easiest targets in the game to gank, so you also want to make sure that you don't push up too much with her when you are in your lane. Now for slotting, you want to slot her area of effect ability, which is her hail of arrows. It's either the square or the Q if you're on PC. And you want to focus on that ability for minion clearing. The next ability you want to get is her invigoration, which makes her next 3 shots faster. You only need to put 1 point into that, and you'll end up putting 2 in it eventually just because you have to, but you don't really need to focus on it. The next skill you want to upgrade is the long range attack of hers, which is the R1 on PS4. It's good for long ranges, which actually pins enemies. It roots them if they're trying to sprint away. It roots them at long range, so you can actually catch up and kill them. And here you see a good example of Sparrow rotating lanes and actually helping in a gank. Now Sparrow is a very late game character. She doesn't do well at the start, so it's very important not to get caught out against multiple enemies at once and think that you can kill them all, because she really just can't. So if you don't know what cards to use, you guys can go check out the Beast Builds videos that I made, because I do use the same setup in this game, and go back to lane to push up some more. As you see right there, you want to just combo the hail of arrows with her long range piercing shot to get through minion waves quickly, and at late game she breezes through enemy waves because she actually starts doing some insane amount of damage. But once you hit level 7, don't forget to upgrade her basic attack, and of course, if I haven't mentioned this already, at level 5 you do want to slot her ultimate, which makes her arrows split up into 3 arrows, making her shoot into more of a cone fashion, not really dealing any more damage actually. It doesn't give you a damage bonus whatsoever, it just helps you hit your targets more in intense team fights and actually pierces through them so you can hit multiple targets with one shot, which is very important later on because with Sparrow, you're all about that damage. You want to be building damage, crit chance, and a little bit of attack speed, and we're going to be building crit bonus and lifesteal near the end game as well. So I couldn't finish off that tower because I'm Sparrow. I probably could have, but I didn't want to risk it because like I said, you don't want to overextend too much when you don't see your enemies on the map because then that sets you up for a very, very easy target for a gank. So that's why I kill that tower and then I go back as quick as possible. Notice that Murdoch is on the come up, but I noticed that he is super underleveled, super ridiculous underleveled. I've never seen this before, such a big difference in level. So I'm like, hey, I got red buff. I can't pass up this opportunity. And even though I don't do that much, he is underleveled. He doesn't have much health, he doesn't deal that much damage, so I can out damage him as Sparrow, and I get a lucky crit shot and I end up killing him with it. So it's very important not to engage into too many fights that you know you can't win a Sparrow early game. Try to avoid them as much as possible unless you're part of a team fight. Then you have your next weapon, your next equipment item, which is going to give you more crit chance and more damage the way I'm slotting it right here, which is very important with Sparrow, of course, and just go back to lane and do the same exact thing. Now right here, this is where the build kind of switches up a little bit. Normally, I would put in another Spear of the Rift Hunter, but we're going to go with Blade of Agora instead because I was experimenting which one would do more at this time, but it's essentially the same thing. You put in Blade of Agora, you max it with damage cards some more, and it'll give you another 50% damage bonus on top of whatever you already have. So with this build, you're actually going to end up having 300% crit bonus, which is why it's a little different from the deck building guide. But now you see me go for that Murdoch again for the easy kill, and I actually would have killed the Sparrow if I didn't get ultimated by the Steel's ult, which is pretty freaking crazy. I would have killed them too, but I probably would have ended up dying anyway. But when you do see your teammates in a fight later on in the game, when you do have more damage, do have that crit bonus, do have that crit chance, and you even have a little bit of lifesteal, this is where you start putting on a show as Sparrow, absolutely decimating the opposition. You have a faster fire rate than Murdoch, especially with your invigoration ability, so you can outdamage a Murdoch if you play your cards right, and deal 695 per crit when you have red buff, at this stage in the game at least, to a tank, which is pretty freaking dope. Now we're going to go back and finalize our build. We're going to grab and finish off the lifesteal, and we're going to get ourselves another Spear of the Rift Hunter instead of the Wind Carver Blade, just for a bit more damage and a bit more crit chance. This is where the build kind of differs a little bit, but you guys can go back to that editing video, the deck building guide, and see where it's different, but for the most part, it's pretty damn similar. So playing Sparrow is actually very simple. You just have to make sure you keep your distance as you don't have any stuns or anything. And the combos, well, the combos are mainly for the minions. You want to combo your ultimate with your invigoration skill. You can combine your ultimate with your invigoration skill, which is very important. Helps you kill 3 people very quickly, just like so. And make sure your aim is good while jumping over minions like a trick-shotting beast. Put me in phase, baby. And yeah, here's you're going to see another example of me killing 3 people as Sparrow. And they're actually backing up. They're pretty nervous of me. I wouldn't advise doing this as Sparrow, but I see them running back, and I actually stop one with my piercing shot, and I let Rampage jump in and tank it while I get a 3-piece again with my ult, with my combo. So Sparrow is really good if she's got a bodyguard with her, but she is very fragile, so be careful. And in the very end game, when you do over 1,000 damage to minions per crit, it's very easy to melt your enemy, as you see 966 without red buff, without OP buff. So there you guys have it. Really easy with Sparrow. If you can't run away as Sparrow, then try to kill them before they kill you. That's your best getaway, and that's about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, make sure y'all have a wonderful day.